second, peeps. Oh, it's actually better like that. You're right, Nikki. I can see what I'm doing. So Nikki suggested moving my light source this week so I didn't look like I was very, very dark like last week. So it actually works. Basically, the light is pointing that way this time. And for some reason, it works better. Go figure. It's not pointing at me. Okay, who have we got in the house? Make yourselves known. Let's see. We've got Vince is here. Carol is here. Mike is here. Robin is here. Brilliant. 4 very familiar names. Who else is here? Let's see. Nobody else yet, apparently. Well, we've got a lot to talk about this week, so we'll just let a couple other people join us. We've got 7 at the moment, which is okay. 13 now. Jumped all of a sudden. Extra 6 people came from nowhere. Right, okay. We better get started because I've got lots to talk about in this particular stream. So first off is where I'm going this week. I'm going to be in Nottinghamshire this week. I'm going to be doing 3 in Gedling and 4 in Rushcliffe. The 3 in Gedling are Burton Joyce, Stoke Bardolph, and Colwick or Colic. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that one just yet. I think it's Colic. And then in Rushcliffe, I'm going to Bunny. Great name for a place, Bunny. Bradmore, Plumtree, and Normanton on the Wolds. So pretty simple. The thing about it, is the hotel. The hotel I'm staying in this week is not the one I actually was originally going to be in, because I got a phone call from Home Pierpoint Country Park, which is where I was supposed to be, telling me that I couldn't stay there anymore on safety grounds. I'm assuming it's something to do with the Trent and the floods in that particular part of the world that have happened over this past month. They didn't say, but that's just what I think. So they managed to book me another hotel just down the road, 3 minutes drive down the road, apparently, at Gamston Lock. So I'm staying there. It doesn't affect any of my plans, which is a good thing. And I don't have to pay anything extra, which is a good thing. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to be this week. So if you're in any of them places, I'll just go over them again in case you're joining us just now. Burton Joyce, Stoke Bardolph, and Colic or Colwick in Gedling. And then Bunny, Bradmore, Plumtree, and Normanton on the Wolds in Rushcliffe is where you'll find me this week. There is one other place that we're going as well, but I'll get to that in a moment. The next thing on the agenda is the video of the year final, which basically you guys, if you've been following my Village People group, you know all about this already. Every month there's a vote to pick your favorite video of the month, and then the 12 winners over the year go into the final at the end of the year. So I put that up at the back end. I put that up at the back end of December, and you guys obviously voted to pick the winner. However, we still don't have a winner, and the reason for that is because both Newark and Haxey got 4 votes each. So there's still no official 2023 Video of the Year winner, but there's going to be very shortly. Basically, by the end of this live stream, you guys need to put into the comments which one out of those 2, Newark or Haxey, you preferred, and whoever gets the most votes wins. So you've got until.
You need to vote on the poll, though.
Well, they did already. They did originally vote on the poll, but it was a 4-4 each tie.
Oh, if the poll is your poll still open?
The poll is still open, yeah.
If you've not voted, go and vote.
Yeah, that's the other way of doing it. You could always put the vote on that. But yeah, it's up to you. You guys pick it. I'm having no say in it. Whichever one gets the most votes will win that. Previous winners, of course, Gringley on the Hill won in 2021 and Holy Island in 2022. So who's going to add their name to the coveted list, if you like? Who knows? Maybe when I get to the end of this crazy mission in 30 years' time, 27 years' time, I'll do a poll for the best ever out of all the yearly winners. We'll see. Right. So while you guys are deciding, I'll move on to the next thing. We've had 5 minutes of this stream already. I still don't know whether this is going to be enough time with everything I've got to tell you. So the other place we'll be going this week is Pocklington, which I know some people in the East Riding have been waiting for us to do for a long time. Well, it's finally time for it. We like Pocklington, don't we, Nikki? We love it. We've been there a couple of times. The first time that we ever went to Pocklington was when we went to Platform Festival, which is a music festival which is held every year inside the old train station. And believe me, it's warm in that building. It was never designed for that kind of thing. And so you can imagine with, several thousand people in an enclosed space with no air conditioning in the summer, it gets warm. We were sweating buckets by the end of that thing. But of course, that's not just all we did at the time. We had a look around the place. I'd never been to it before. We stayed in Shipton Thorpe, which I'm sure you've seen the Shipton Thorpe episode. If you haven't, then go and find it. It's a good little village, that one. And we were back there again a few years later on our way to Scarborough. We called in and sampled some of the yeah, we were seeing Lewis Capaldi in Scarborough. We called in and sampled some of the delights again of Pocklington Town Centre, and for that reason, we know it a bit. We know a bit of it. We don't know all of it, but that's what the rest of this. That's what the episode will do. It will uncover the bits we don't know and the bits that we do. And it's a very popular place. If you've never been to Pocklington, then I highly recommend you do. It is pure East Riding. Everything I've taught you about the East Riding up to now can be seen in Pocklington on show. It's just fabulous. Really is. I'll be going mob-handed. So it won't just be me. It'll be Nikki with me. Hannah will be with me. Lauren will be with me too. So it's a full family affair. And we'll be exploring the delights of Pocklington this coming Saturday. That's February the 10th. So if you are in the area, then, feel free to come and say hello to us all. We don't bite. I can promise you we don't.
Probably won't say hello.
Hannah probably won't say hello, but that's fair enough. But Lauren will, I will, and Nikki will as well. So come and say hello to us. We'll be there for a good 4 or 5 hours, because the route's not going to take me that long to walk around, but of course we will be stopping for food at some point, and there'll probably be a chance to sit down and just have a breather, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we'll be there for a long time, and if you are in the area and you haven't yet spotted us, then you know how to reach us. We've got various ways of contacting each other. So yeah, let me know if you're there. We will come and say hello to you if you don't say hello to us. So yeah, and that will complete the western side of the East Riding then, because there'll be nothing left on that side, on the York side. Everything left in the East Riding at that point will either be up towards Bridlington or around the Beverley area, and there's a couple left on the Humber Estuary, which I haven't done yet. That's Welton and Brough, Elton and Brough, but they will be coming soon as well. It's crazy to think there's just them two left on the Humber. When them two are done, the entire Humber Estuary will be done, which is mental, crazy. So yeah, that's the plan for Pocklington anyway. Now, while we're talking about
Shouting.
Am I?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm shouting. You it's probably because you've got your headphones on.
My ears ringing.
Probably because you've got your headphones
I've
on.
got my headphones on.
Probably sounds different with your headphones on. I know it's different when I have mine on. Let me have a little look. So we've all got some votes for Newark and Haxey there. Good. Oh, good. We've got some people who are far from Pocklington. We've got Martin here, only 5 miles from it. Burnby Hall Gardens is worth a visit, says Martin. It is. Hannah wants to go and have a look at that. I believe you have to pay for it. But we might go in and have a look at that and see. Haven't been in it up to now. So, oh, Robin, of course, yeah, well, you're in Wilberforce, aren't you, Robin? Of course you are. That's cool. So you'll be hanging around the area on that day, I would have thought. Right. Okay. So that's the plan for Pocklington anyway. Now, speaking of big towns and plans, the next thing I want to talk about is Ashbourne, because just 3 days after Pocklington, myself and the good lady wife, Mrs. TVI over there, will be heading into Derbyshire, and I'll be doing a couple in Amber Valley, but I'll also be doing Ashbourne. The main reason we're going to Derbyshire that week is because of Ashbourne, and this one is one I've planned for a specific day because of the event that takes place on Shrove Tuesday and Ash Wednesday, and that is the Ashbourne Shrovetide football game. If you've never heard of this, then I can understand why, because it's kind of a thing that's really only played by the locals. I mean, tourists can watch and maybe join in, but from what I've been told in some of the Ashbourne groups online, they don't like to let you join in, which is fair enough. And I wouldn't want to join in anyway, because it's a very rough and tumble kind of game. If you remember the Haxey Hood, think that only with a ball that's bigger than a standard football, that's filled with cork so that it can float in water. And the reason it needs to float in water is because the goals are actually in a river, believe it or not. It's a crazy game. I've been doing a lot of reading about it over these last couple of days. It's going to be fun to cover. It's apparently very fast. It can get quite violent. So the advice is to stand well back and just, make sure that you're not in harm's way, which I will do. The whole thing just sounds great. There's actually a plinth in one of the car parks in the town centre where it starts. I'm not going to give too much away here because obviously I want the episode to show you the whole thing. But that's where it starts. There's a local dignitary who stands on top of the plinth and chucks the ball basically off the plinth into like a big scrum, like a big rugby scrum, and then basically it goes from there. Now the teams that play it are based on where people live in the town. There are two teams, one called the Uppards, one called the Downards, and the idea is to get the ball to your own goal. You don't score in the opponent's goal; you get it to your own goal, which is unusual. So yeah, it just sounds mental. It really does. It really does. But this is the beauty of these rural locations. You never know what you're going to find. So I'm excited to cover it. The route itself is fairly easy. I'll be honest with you, Ashbourne's not the biggest town in the world. So the actual walking route should be very simple, quite frankly. It's this that really, that's why I'm going on this specific day. So it's going to be fun. If you've never been to it, you'll be able to see, hopefully, by my video, what it's like. So that's coming not this week, but next week. So I shall give you a full brief on that in next week's meeting for the members, that is. Now, I've left you in a bit of suspense, haven't I, with the post I made earlier about Shaftesbury. If you remember, you all voted for me to go to Shaftesbury later this month, which is what I'm doing. Shaftesbury's in Dorset, and I planned the route for Shaftesbury earlier today, along with the Wiltshire ones I'll be doing as well while I'm down there, because Shaftesbury's right on the Wiltshire border. So I thought the easiest way to sort of cover as much ground as possible was to do a couple in Wiltshire and then obviously do Shaftesbury itself. Now, in comparison to Pocklington and Ashbourne, the Shaftesbury route is massive. It's a very big town, very, very big. I'm allowing 4 hours for the route. That tells you something. I don't think it'll take me 4 hours to walk around it, but I'm allowing it because I may well need it. And it's a good thing I am, because I put the route up on my Facebook page earlier which is something I don't normally do, but I felt it needed to be done to show you where I'm walking. And not long after I'd done that, I got a message from a guy at a radio station down there called Alfred FM. It's called Alfred FM because King Alfred founded Shaftesbury, apparently. Again, that's something I'll talk about in the episode, I would have thought. And he basically wanted to talk to me about my upcoming visit, which I thought fair enough. So I had a phone call with him, quite a lengthy one, actually. And basically, he's recorded an interview with me over the phone, which is going to be on the radio station tomorrow. I'll put the details in the description box when this live is finished, and I'll also make a separate post on Facebook about it with the website, because this is an online radio station, Alfred FM. And the great thing about it is the interview won't just be at one specific time. It will actually be, you'll actually be able to listen to it every hour. So if you tune in at 7 o'clock in the morning, that's when it will be first broadcast, if you like. But if you listen to the station for an hour, you're bound to hear it because it's going to be repeated every hour. Not necessarily on the hour, but within an hour. Within an hour's span of listening, you'll be able to hear it at some point. Until 2 o'clock, when it will be featured in a news program, apparently. This is that's basically what he told me. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I don't think he was sure himself. But that's the sort of gist I got. Now, that's all well and good. I've been on the radio before. You guys know that, and that's not the wow thing here, because there's something else that's massive. Basically, aside from that, he's actually going to pass my phone number, my details, contact details, onto the mayor of Shaftesbury, who is apparently, if all goes to plan, going to be meeting me on the day. And there'll be like I don't know what he said. He could arrange all kinds of things, because he knows quite a lot of people in and around the town. Now, there's two museums in Shaftesbury. There's one called Gold Hill Museum, which is at the top of Gold Hill, which is famous for the Hovis advert. And there's one at the Abbey. Now, they're both closed for the winter. But if he pulls enough strings, I may still be able to get into both of those two museums on the walk around. So, like I said, it's a good job I'm allowing 4 hours for the route, because I may need it. I may even need longer. So that's quite cool. He's basically passing my stuff around to various people in the town, including the mayor, like I said. And this could be all bells and whistles. This could be all sorts of good. It's the first
people is passing it on to as well outside the town.
There are. I'll come to them shortly. There are other people as well. But this is my first foray into Dorset. I've only ever been to Dorset a couple of times before in my life, and both times it was to Bournemouth for holidays. So I don't know anything about anywhere else in Dorset, really. So this is my first foray into the county properly, and what a reception, to be met with potentially the mayor of the town and a few other people who know their way around and all that. It's quite cool, for someone who's not actually been down there before doing this. I think that's quite amazing. I have to thank not just the guy I spoke to at the radio, but also the guy who emailed him about it. One of my followers, who went by the name of John, is responsible for this, because he'd obviously seen my route that I put up around Shaftesbury, emailed the guy at the radio, and, information flies fast, doesn't it? Before you know it, I've got this happening. So, it could well be a all singing, all dancing, bells and whistles kind of thing. And I suppose even better than that, as Nikki rightly mentioned just then, this guy at the radio has also got contacts all over the country. So if he's willing to pull strings in Shaftesbury, he may well be pulling strings elsewhere. I mean, he mentioned a radio station in Rutland, which I could well be on that at some point. He mentioned Newark in Cornwall. Again, I've not been to Cornwall since I must have been 20 years since I've been to Cornwall. You know, I haven't been there doing this yet. You know what I mean? So I don't know. This could be the start of something bigger, I guess. I don't know. But it felt like this was like a big push in the right direction.
A Swiss flag moment.
Yeah, a bit of a Swiss flag moment.
A big plus.
Yeah, a big plus. I'm just going to catch up with a couple of comments because I've been talking for a good 5 or 10 minutes there. Let's see. Carol says, that's brilliant news, Andy. We'll really look forward to the Shaftesbury episode. Well, I can't wait for it. I really can't wait for Shaftesbury. It's February the 21st is when I'll be there, which is 2 weeks on Wednesday. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, I've got to actually get there first. I've got to do these ones in Wiltshire first. But I'll be thinking about, even when I'm doing these Wiltshire ones, I'm going to be thinking about the Shaftesbury episode. I don't know whether you can tell from the route, by the way. My route will begin at the bottom of Gold Hill. I'll walk up Gold Hill first, so I'll recreate the Hovis advert first off. Are you familiar with the Hovis advert, Lauren? Mm-hmm. Oh, this kid needs an education.
You always say that.
You're not familiar with the Hovis advert? Mm-hmm. Very, very famous advert by Ridley Scott.
Considering she wasn't even thought of when the advert went out, I'm not surprised.
Well, no, I know, but what with YouTube, what it is these days, and online video things.
Watch that sort of thing.
It might have just come up. That's what I'm thinking.
Please watch TikTok, Andy, not YouTube.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do then, Lauren. Right, I'll show you this advert when this live stream's finished, so you can see. So I'm going to start at the bottom of that hill and recreate the kid walking up with his bike. To the top.
It'd be Andy walking up with his GoPro.
Yeah, it'd be me walking up with my GoPro. Or it could even be the two Ronnie spoof. Do you remember that, people? Ronnie Barker walking up with his Hovis and getting to the top and saying, "Grandad always said it was a long way to go." That's just as good, I think. Anyway, so it will start there, and then I'll obviously go around the town and everything else that it's got. It's got loads and loads to talk about. I mean, the Abbey itself will take me I might be an hour in the Abbey grounds. That's just how important that is. There are crazy things to talk about. I mean, there's even the local Tesco. That's got something to talk about, believe it or not, under the car park. It's amazing what you find out from research, so it'll take me ages. I know it's going to be a good episode. It's going to be at least 30 minutes. You guys know I don't like them to be sort of more than 30, but this one could well be over, especially with all these bits and bobs that are thanks to this guy at the radio, I suppose. Like I said, I will put the information for the radio station in the description when this is done, and on Facebook too. So, yeah. It's mental, absolutely mental. This is probably going to be one of the craziest months I've had for a long time doing this. So yeah, was that it, or was there something else I wanted to talk about? I actually can't remember because there was so much I was talking about this week. I think that's it, though. I think there were 6 things in total, which means we've got to the end. 24 minutes there. So we've got a bit of time left for you guys to chuck some questions at me, I suppose. Let's see. Just going down comments. 1 second. Richard says, make sure my car is clean when I go to Shaftesbury. I will. I'll make sure it's clean. Not quite sure about the outside, but I'll make sure the inside's clean anyway. 10,000 subscribers fast approaching, says Mike. Yes, indeed, Mike. Indeed. It's getting there ever slowly, but it's getting there. I think it was on 8. Was it 8796 last I looked? So it's like 204 away from 9,000. So it's getting there. Will you be carrying a loaf of Warburton's bread up the hill? No. No, it's Hovis advert, wasn't it? So, you know, if anything, I'd carry a loaf of Hovis, but
it'd be hilarious if you did.
I've got enough carrying the GoPro. I'll be honest with you. I have enough carrying the GoPro. You know.
You got one of them miniatures.
Miniatures?
Yeah, the little tiny Hovis loaves.
Oh, yeah, the Hovis minis. Yeah, possibly then. Yeah. I do believe at the top of the hill there's a Hovis like statue, if I remember rightly. So there's something Hovis rated, I'm sure, at the top of the hill, which makes sense. I'll capture it if there is. You know me. Should give you a big boost in numbers. I hope so, Mike. I hope so. Robin says part 1 and part 2. Are you referring to Shaftesbury there, Robin? There won't be 2 parts. It'll all be one. It'll just be a mammoth. It'll just be a big episode. That's all. Just be a big episode. I don't think it's going to be an hour, because even with all the stuff to cover and this extra, you know, dignitaries and whatnot, I don't think it would top the hour. But it's probably more than 30 minutes, I would say. It's a big one. It's a big one. I just hope people endorse it who are seeing me for the first time. They don't get the wrong idea and expect all of my episodes to be that long. But no. I mean, the guy at the radio is quite funny. He actually thought that the video would be about 10 minutes. I mean, he must be joking because I wouldn't even be able to fit the Abbey inside 10 minutes, let alone everything else. It might take me 10 minutes just to cover Gold Hill, you know? This is how thorough it is. Robin says, I'll try that again. Has Haxey won? I don't know, Robin. Hold on, because I'm just going to go back through the comments and see who's voted for Haxey. 3 votes, 4 votes for Haxey there. 1 for Newark, 2 for Newark. Well, so far, Haxey is winning 4-2 in this chat. So you've got a bit of time left. If you don't want Haxey to win, then, you know, put your Newark votes in now.
To win what?
So basically, you know how I do a vote at the end of every month in my group to vote for the best video of the month?
No.
Well, that's what I do in the group. And the 12 winners move forward to a final to decide the best video of the year, which is, I put that up in back end of December, right? Mm. But we had a tie. Both Newark and Haxey got 4 votes each.
Oh, so now you're doing a tiebreaker.
We're doing the tiebreaker, indeed. To decide which one gets the honours. At the minute, it's Haxey winning 4-2.
I remember when we did that.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah. Well, how could you forget it? It was an epic episode, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. I suppose Shaftesbury is going to be Dorset's answer to Newark and Sherwood, isn't it? So, Mike says, make it a big one, Andy. Long way to go. Make your next Dorset/Wiltshire ones. Well, actually, you know what? I'm kind of overlooking the Wiltshire ones here because I planned those routes as well today. And they're actually quite interesting, the ones I've picked to do. Just so you know, I mean, I don't know whether there's any Wiltshire people in, but you might be familiar with these, I don't know. The ones I picked to do in Wiltshire are Marston, Earlstoke, Coulston, or should I say Colston? It's actually Colston, Eddington and Bratton. They're kind of between Westbury and Devizes. It's like a run on the sort of northern edge of Salisbury Plain, and they have got some really good bits. I'll be honest with you. There's one that's got a horse, which is like on a side of the hill. It's not the most famous horse like the one in Oxfordshire. It's not that one. It's similar but not quite the same. That's in Bratton, and that's like built on the side of an old castle mound. So that's pretty cool. There's one that's got a priory church that looks like a castle. That's Eddington. One of them, both Lenny Henry and Dawn French have lived in it. That's Earlstoke. There was something else about Earlstoke as well. I was doing research for this earlier, but I can't remember what it was that stood out to me. There was something that stood out, but whatever it was, they're all covered in these episodes. They're all tiny places, to be honest with you. So it's funny what you find out, even in the smallest place. Oh, right. Okay. Let's see. Oh, another vote for Newark from Philip there. But Haxey had one as well, so it's winning 5-3 now, Lauren. Haxey's winning 5-3. I think, to be honest, it would be a worthy winner, actually. Haxey would be a worthy winner. I was on my feet all day in that episode. It's going to be similar in Ashbourne, quite frankly, with the football, the Shrovetide football. So it's all good fun. It's all good fun. I must admit, I am enjoying this more than I ever have at the moment, which is a good thing. And I love going further afield as well. The guy at the radio was asking me, how far afield have I actually gone? I think I surprised him actually with how far I've been up to now. I mean, most of my stuff, as you guys know, is all up here, because obviously I live up here. But I am gradually working my way south. It's quite cool. It's quite cool the further I go. Another vote for Newark, so it's 5-4 now. Haxey's still winning 5-4. Which one would you give it to? I know you'd vote Newark, wouldn't you? Yeah. But you didn't go to Haxey, you don't know what it was like. Ah, dear.
All right, give me an overview from your point of view what Haxey was like.
Well, Haxey is famous for the hood, Haxey Hood. You know that game, don't you?
Remind me what that is again.
That's the thing with the leather tube. It's like a rugby scrum. You have to push it to one of the 4 pubs.
All right.
Which, by the way, if you guys don't know, was won by the King's Arms this year. Loco were the reigning champions, which I'm sure you saw in my episode. But they couldn't defend their title this year. King's Arms won it. So they pushed it past the Loco, down the hill to the Kings. So I always root for the Carpenter's Arms at Westwood Side. And the reason for that is because one of my best friends lives in Westwood Side, or used to live in Westwood Side, and he's always Team Carps. And so I just side with them. But I've never been to the hood and seen the Carps win it yet. So not
Have they ever won it?
Sorry?
Have they ever won it?
Oh yeah. All four pubs have won it at some point. Yeah, all 4 have won it at some point. Yeah. Even the Duke William, which is I don't know whether that's I don't know whether that's fully reopened now, but it had just reopened when I did the episode last year, but it was only for drinks. It wasn't for much more than that. Yeah, Richard, you voted twice, so that doesn't count. Sorry. I think Haxey's won this, quite frankly.
What, so did he vote once for Haxey and Newark?
Yeah. I'm just going back through the comments. Yeah, he's voted at least twice. Yeah, so Haxey. I think Haxey's gonna win this, frankly, which is fair enough. I actually expected it to win, to be honest. When I put the list together for the final for the 12 winners, I looked at the 12 and I thought, there's no way Haxey's not winning this. I mean, Newark was probably the one that I thought would be the sort of nearest challenger, but I didn't think it would tie with it. I actually thought that Haxey would streak away, because I remember everyone saying at the time how good that one was, and how well I covered the hood and everything. So yeah, I think we'll call that. I think we'll call Haxey the winner. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So it can be added to the list of winners. So I wonder what's going to win this year. Who knows? I don't know yet fully everywhere I'm going at this year, but of course I will at some point. So
Wait, so when does the hood even happen?
it always happens on January the 6th, because that is the anniversary of the tale that precedes it. There's a story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's reenacted every year on the same day. So, right, okay, I'm going to leave that there, folks. We've had a good 35 minutes there. And yeah, I will see you next week if you're a member. And I'll go over the whole Ashbourne thing again next week so that you know what's coming when myself and Mrs. TVI go into Derbyshire and have a little look at that place and its crazy football game, which I'm so excited for. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Like I said, I'll put all that stuff in the description and on Facebook so you can listen to the interview I did with Alfred FM. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks for coming, people. Good night. Say bye-bye, Lily.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Nikki.